Welcome everybody to the XFactor Podcast, and I am going to be talking about professional wrestling. I am going to be talking about AEW Revolution here today. I'll be going through each match, and I'll be telling you my thoughts on each matchup. First one was Mark Briscoe and the Lucha Bros versus Ari Daivari and the Varsity Athletes, Josh Woods and Tony Nese in 0 Hour. It went on 12 minutes. I thought it was an alright match. Great to see Mark Briscoe back. And, good to see him like in AEW and everything. It's just sad about his brother and everything. So, you know what? Great win for them. Great win for the Lucha Bros. And we're going to see how that goes on next week. But here we are. We're going to start off with Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho, where Jericho Appreciation Society was banned from ringside. Ricky Starks ended up with the win there. Jericho tried to hit him with a little bat, but did not work. And then Ricky Starks got him with a finisher, with a move, and I think it was his finisher. Or not, the Spirit's finisher. But anyway, he still got the win. Guevara came out, and Action Andretti got him, but I didn't realize that was Action Andretti until, till the end of that, so... that's the end of that. So, Ricky Starks ends up with the win. Jericho loses, and I think what they do on from here, I think Jericho should, either turn on, Judgment Day, Jericho Appreciation Society, or they should turn on him. That's what I think they should happen. On this podcast, you'll know I do a lot of fantasy stuff here, fantasy booking, so that's going to be one of the things I do a lot here. Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Christian Cage in a final burial. I like that match. It was a great way to end the rivalry with Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. I did not expect them to do as much, I thought we were going to see a couple table spots, but I just, got to realize Christian's age is really coming in there, so... And most of the time, they were up by the casket, so it didn't really work as much. So, yeah, the Jungle Boy ends up with the win. Great win, great to end the rivalry. Next for Jungle Boy, though, I don't know. Jungle Boy is a great wrestler. Well, not great wrestler, but he's all right. He's all right. I'm not a big fan of Jungle Boy, but Christian Cage, though, I love Christian Cage. So, end of that. Not really much to talk about. House of Black and the Elite. That was the next match. They went on for 18 minutes. I honestly thought this match should have been before the main event, because that match was really good. And coming into the match, I was undefeated on my picks. I had Mark Briscoe and the Lucha Bros winning. I had Ricky Starks winning. I had Jungle Boy winning. House of Black, I had them losing to the Elite. Great spots in the matchup. Kenny Omega, knee and Julia Hart was a sight to see there. Super Kick Party. I'm not a big fan of the Super Kick Party, but, huge Kenny Omega fan. But one thing, after the All Outs incident, I always say I wasn't going to enjoy the Elite, but every match they have, I enjoy them. So that's pretty much how that's going to end. And end of that. So now I love Kenny, and, another thing I was seeing during the pre-show, Don Callis was out talking. And I was remembering the other night when Kaneshke on Rampage got approached by Don Callis, and Don Callis offered him something. And I was sitting here thinking, so with Kenny, maybe wanting to go to WWE, if he wanted to have Don Callis, or have Kaneshke and Kenny in a rivalry for a little bit, and then the night that Kenny's supposed to leave, have Don Callis turn on Kenny and get Kaneshke into a heel role. As if I think it will go well, I don't know. But you'll have Don Callis in his corner talking, so it could work since Don Callis is with him. But that's the way I think they should maybe do it. But that's really much of that. So, and audio might be just a little screwed up tonight because I don't have my mic with me. Mic on. I need to get an adapter for my phone, so I will get that soon. So right now, if audio is bad, my apologies. This is the first episode. Not everything's supposed to be perfect, so let's see here. Jamie Hayter versus versus Saraya versus Ruby Soho. For the women's title, I thought it was an alright matchup. I was coming into it. I wasn't really in with the storyline, but like I understood what they're doing. I understood what was going on there, but I wasn't really big on it. And this matchup, it went on for a while, about 10 minutes. And Jamie Hayter and like everyone was just going after each other. Like we didn't know. Like the one main thing we're looking at is if Ruby Soho was gonna pick sides, and she was taking on both. So we all thought she wasn't gonna pick a side. And then after the match, Jamie Hayter rolled her up and won the match. And Tony Storm and Saraya are taking out Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. Ruby Soho throws them out, and it looks like she was gonna join them. And then boom, she takes out Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker. So that was an ending that I did not really expected. For the people that don't think that that doesn't make sense, it kind of does make sense because I think I know what they're trying to do here. It's like because you have Sheeta, I can't pronounce her first name, but she was also part of this at the start when Saraya picked Tony Storm over her. And, well, if you kind of realize that Ruby Soho used to be in WWE, and she was kind of came to AEW in the midway of their big stomp up, and Tony Storm and Saraya just came out throughout this past year. So Saraya, Tony Storm, and Ruby Soho will probably face Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, and Sheeta at Double or Nothing or whatever. Unless, some dramatic thing happens and they end up going into a 6-way for the title. And the only way I see that happening is if Britt Baker gets jealous enough where she takes out Hayter. I'm just waiting for that to happen too. Hayter, sorry. Because when Jamie Hayter won the belt, Britt Baker, she was like all jealous and everything, and then, it looked like she was jealous. So, and she was just trying to get all the spotlight, and she has the belt, and Jade Cargill, she ain't gonna beat Jade Cargill for that belt. She ain't gonna be the first one to beat her. So, I think that's really, if they do want to go a 6-way for that belt, or for the women's title, that's what's going to start it, is Britt Baker being jealous. So, or if they do a 6-way match at Double or Nothing, I will be happy with that too. But I'm just hoping that they show more different women each week than Hayter, Britt Baker, Saraya, Tony Storm, Ruby Soho, Willow Nightingale. And like they showed Rio this past week. Where Nyla Rose is always on Dark. And Cargo, she hasn't really been showing on much. So I don't know. They just need to they're using the same women over and over and over again. It's not a bad thing, but when it's the same women's match, but it's like a different type each time, a tag match, singles match, this, that, it gets boring after a while. So I'm hoping they show more Nyla Rose lately. She could bring her back up to a women's title match. She is a fucking powerful. She could be one of the best women, one of the most powerful women in the women's division for AEW. So hoping to see that happen. So but we need to get on this next match. Hangman Adam Page defeated Jon Moxley by submission in a Texas Death 25 minutes in a brutal matchup. I'm only 17 years old, so I can't bet, but I told my mom she could make money if Moxley bleeds in the first 5 minutes, and I think he bled before the 5 minutes came up. So, or you could just bled on him bleeding at all throughout the match, and they did, even though, and it is a Texas Death match, so it's kind of a good time for someone to bleed. So, a lot of barbed wire spots, which I love barbed wire with hardcore Texas Death matches. One of the spots I had to look away, though, was the brick spot when Moxley stomped Hangman with the bricks, with the brick and with his hand and all that. I thought his hand was broken in the fork spot. Oh, my God. I had to look away. And a lot of people I seen on Twitter did not really like it because, it's just a disgusting act or whatever. But, what else are you going to ask for? You want a cup of tea? You didn't, it's a Texas Death match, and you got Jon Moxley, and you got Adam Page. And then, so, it's what else do you want from him? And Adam Page ended up choking Moxley, where Moxley had to submit. That's one thing I didn't really like, was Moxley submitting, because that's one thing that Moxley doesn't do. He doesn't submit. So, but either way, it was a great matchup. Great matchup by both competitors. And that was a great way for that rivalry. There's a lot of matches in here that was great for a rivalry end. I think about 3, 4, about 4 of the matches out of the 9 that they had was great for the end of the storyline. So, Wardlow versus Samoa Joe was an amazing. Well, it wasn't really amazing, but like it was a good match. 10 minutes. I knew coming into it wasn't gonna be long because of Samoa Joe. And don't get me wrong, Samoa Joe he can still wrestle at 43, 44, but he just can't go long matches, as he used to. So, great to see Wardlow win. Wardlow coming into his own here at with the TNT title, second run with the TNT title, and Wardlow put Samoa Joe to sleep. Remind you, not many people do that. So that's something right there. And now Wardlow will be facing Powerhouse Hobbs at this Wednesday on Dynamite. So that's gonna be something there. Sorry if I'm trying to rush through this. I already recorded one of these, but I had some problems on my computer. I could not get it to upload. If someone can help me, put on the comments like how to do it, because I've looked everywhere on the computer. I still screw up. So for the meaningful future, I'm gonna do it on my computer, or on my phone. So and edit through my phone. So I will be doing something to do that. But the next matchup will be the Guns versus the Acclaimed, or versus Lethal and Jeff Jarrett versus Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. Oh, and by the way, I had Hayter winning, I had Hangman winning, and I had Wardlow winning. So I only have one loss so far, and I had lost in this one because I had Lethal and Jeff Jarrett winning the belts. Now I'm gonna go through each tag team here. Orange Cassidy and Danhausen, in my opinion, should not have been in the match. No reason they should have been in that matchup. I was hoping for another team, like Dark Order or whoever, to be in there, but if you think about it, each one of these teams have somewhat beef with someone. So I can understand it, but I think it was just not really a great way to do it. So the Guns end up winning the belts in a alright matchup. And then let's see here, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. I was hoping to see them win. I was hoping to get them to win the belts because I love Jeff Jarrett, I love Jay Lethal. But they didn't win. It's alright, but next I think they should go after the Ring of Honor tag belts, even though there's only one guy really in that group, and that'd be a real heelish way to do it, but they're heels, so if they can get heat off that, go ahead, go do what you need to do. So that's one thing they could do. So they'll probably go in the Ring of Honor anyway. So but the next team, the Acclaimed, I'm sorry, I'm sick of them. I can't really stand them anymore. Like when they first came into their own, they won the belts. I was like, okay, but I wasn't like fully digging the team. I've never really been high on the Acclaimed, because when they won the belts, I was high on Swerve and Our Glory, and then they ended it in like I was high on the Guns and FTR. Well, everyone's high on FTR because FTR is one of the greatest of all time. And then so the Acclaimed, I've never been big of the Acclaimed, so that's pretty much that. And the Guns end up winning by pinning Danhausen. So, and then after the match, they were gonna talk, and I was like, "Ooh, there's a tag team coming up. And I remember talking to my older brother earlier before the pay-per-view started. He said if the Elite lose, their Young Bucks were gonna go after the tag titles. And well, I was thinking it for a second. Then I heard FTR's music, and well, I got freaking hyped, man. I was going nuts for a little bit, and with how these guys are going into this, the Guns and all that, it's a great way to end the storyline next pay-per-view. With the Guns losing the belts at Double or Nothing or whatever they're going to be losing them at next. Because, at the start, it was like it was the end of FTR. And for a while, we all thought it was the end of FTR. So, FTR comes back, and we all thought they were going to leave. So, after they came back last night, I think that they signed a contract. Because, why? Because I think they said their contract ended in April. So, why would you have why did they have them come back, win a belt, win the tag titles, only have them for about a week or two, and then lose them again? So I think they re-signed. I hope they did. I hope they did. So that is gonna be something right there. And I think the FTR will be the next tag team champions for AEW, and the Guns, well, they had their time, and well, they're gonna lose it. So, and an MJF versus Bryan Danielson in a 1 hour Iron Man match, which ended up going 1 hour 5 minutes. So, and MJF did win 4-3. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of the greatest matches I have ever seen in my life. I have watched a lot of matches, and that one is one of the greatest I have ever seen, ever in my lifetime. So, that's a great thing to see, is them two fucking battling out the entire time, too. So, what's next, though, for this? I think they're going to end it. I honestly think this was a great way for it to end, too. I think they're going to end this, not have another match. Who knows if we're going to see Bryan Danielson for the next month or so. Because this really, they were telling, in some way or form, they were telling a story. It's like there's times where Bryan Danielson was out, but he came back. There's times we all thought MJF was out. He ended up coming back and doing what he needed to do. So, that was something. And I was hoping for CM Punk to come back. And, well, he didn't. But if you really think about it, with how that match ended with MJF Danielson and with how good that match was, you didn't need a return. If the match was going to be bad, yeah, have a return. But there's no need to have a return for that. MJF really proved to all the haters why he is one of the best. Because, I was seeing a couple videos where people were saying, he's just a one-sided guy, and, people are going to turn on him and all this. And every time people say that, he ends up improving himself more and more and more and more. And the preparation that he had to put into this match is insane. I watched the press conference last night. He was putting himself through hell for 60 days. And it's wow. He's showing people he has the dedication, even though he doesn't wrestle much. And that's one thing I have problems with world champions is, if you're a world champion, at least need you see a couple, about every week or so, And, Roman, he has both belts, and yet we only see him on SmackDown. Raw needs that world championship type of viewership, kind of, So, and MJF, I just really like MJF. So when MJF's on Dynamite, it just feels different. It has that different feel. And when he's not on there, it's just another day, Oh, and then, but I do like AEW. I like him a lot. But with MJF, he's really what he is. He's a generational talent. He's better than you, and you know it. And I don't think I'm ever gonna hate on MJF, because every time I think he's not this, not that, or whatever, he comes back and proves himself every goddamn time, and that really shows me a lot about him as a person. So, like I said, one of the best matches I've ever seen. And once it hit overtime, I was like, they're not really gonna do this, They're really gonna have it draw. And then I see Tony Schiavone get up, and it was exciting to see the dramatic affair from that to that, and then MJF's face from when I survived to I gotta keep wrestling this man. it is something. It is a really good thing to see, you know. It's a lot, you know. It's something. I really don't know what to say. Like, I can go over and watch that match again, and I'm still gonna be like happy every time watching it, because it was that fucking good. It's just, I honestly don't know why people hate on MJF so much, but like, this man, like, I don't care what anyone says now, he proved what he did last night was special, and he keeps that Triple B title. And what's next for him, I don't know. Honestly, I honestly do not know. I want him to face a big name talent, of course. Like, everyone wants to see a big name face MJF now. But if you look at the roster, like, who is there big to face? Like, you have Kenny, but he just lost a belt. Moxley, he's had so many matches with Moxley. Well, Moxley's had so many title matches for the past year, it's not even funny. Adam Cole, you know, he's having a little beef with Adam Cole. Punk, if he comes back, or have, there's so many different guys you can put that, or not really so many guys, but like, there's a couple guys on the roster you can really say that, you know, they need that title match. Because like, before MJF had the belt, you know, you can put anyone against anyone for that belt, and like, you know, it just feel good. But when MJF has the belt, it's like, you need to have that special honor to face him for that title. It just feels, it gives me that vibe. Like, if you're gonna face MJF, you are getting a big promotion. To, like, you're gonna face the world champion. With everyone else, it's just been like, oh, it's just another world title match, to me at least. But with MJF, he is really becoming a big star, and he's only 26. And I don't know how long he will wrestle for. Who knows if it's 10, 20, 25. Who knows if he's going to wrestle until he's freaking 55. So we have a lot of good memories that we're going to have for this man until he's gone. So great to see that. They had the press conference after. Not really much happened besides MJF screaming at Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez at the start. I thought that was pretty funny. But what I'm going to talk about now is I'm going to talk about Monday Night Raw tonight. You got quite a few things. You got Bianca Belair versus Carmella. It's going to be good. They've had so many matches before, so we already know who's going to win. But, you know, a lot of people are worried that Carmella was going to get a title shot. I'm sorry. And I'm like, bro, you don't need to worry about that. She ain't going to get a title. She ain't going to get she's not going to be put in that triple. She's not going to make that a triple threat. So it's just going to be a little, you know, rivalry thing, push Bianca up a little bit more as she already is. And, you know, Asuka's had a couple matches already, so get the champion a couple matches, and, you know, so they're getting that ready. And, and then, you know, Gargano will be facing Finn Balor. I think it's going to be great for Gargano, because, like, the last couple months, I've not been really high on Gargano until, you know, the Elimination Chamber happened, and I'm like, damn, he is really showing why he's big, and I don't know, I just think he needs to stay away from Dexter. I'm not a fan of Dexter. I think Dexter's slowly holding him down just a little bit. That's how I feel about Otis and Chad Gable, too. I think Otis is holding Gable down, because Gable, he can be something special. And, like, he's been with the main roster since 2016. Like, with Triple H now in the helm, he can do really... He's, like, one of those guys that Triple H can depend on to have a good match every goddamn week. So, as the King of the Ring keeps getting closer, I'm hoping Chad Gable gets that spot. So, can't wait to see how that's going to go. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will also be in action. Sami Zayn will face Jimmy. Kevin's facing Solo. And tonight we might see Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens reunion tonight. I have a feeling. I just have a big feeling about it. With everything that's been going on now with them, and like as we get closer to WrestleMania, like we're less than a month away, I think, now from WrestleMania. Because like, I think you either do it this week, Friday, or next Monday on Raw. It has to be somewhere down that road, you know, and I think after that, that's when they start building with the Usos. and they've been building with the Usos, and a lot of people were saying, well, what about Sami and Roman? Sami and Roman, we're done with that. Get away from it. We're done. Get out of here. But Sami and Roman and that's over. Just get over it. It's Cody and Roman, and a lot of people were saying, Sami is gonna be more over than Cody as WrestleMania hits. Not if you build the storyline right. If you have a storyline either every Monday, either every Saturday, Friday, or every Monday and Friday, you're gonna have a good. Cody's gonna be over more. But as of Friday, when they had their thing, it makes me think Roman's gonna win, just because I think he cooked Cody in that promo. But back to where I was saying with Sami and Kevin, I could see them taking those belts off the Usos. Either one of them, Raw, SmackDown titles, don't really matter. I could see them taking one of those belts off of them, and that's gonna be the biggest crack right there. Because then, if they lose the other belts, boom, they're done. And Roman, he starts losing the belts, boom, they're cracked, and they're fucked, kind of, So, so I'm hoping to see. I'm gonna like to see what we're gonna see tonight from them. So, another thing, Logan Paul will confront Logan Paul will be confronting Seth tonight, and as that rivalry gets on and all that, so I can't wait to see that. Kind of, I'm not big on Logan Paul. I'm not. It's just because he's not always there, So as they get closer to the WrestleMania, the more I'll probably get more on Logan Paul, or more I like him more. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that. And then Cena's coming back. I think Cena, if he faces Theory at WrestleMania, because they've been teasing it for months, I think Cena's losing. I think Cena is gonna lose. And regardless of what you think, I don't really care. If you think Cena's gonna win, good luck, or whatever you think. Cool. I think it'll help Theory more because Cena's never there. So, as we get closer to WrestleMania, I think, Cena is gonna lose. As much as not many people want to see it, it's gonna happen. So, that's pretty much what I got for that. That's pretty much be it for today's episode. I would have had it longer, but I had a couple of problems, so I will be doing this again tomorrow. I will be talking tomorrow, so I'm hoping to have a better setup tomorrow than I had today. So I will talk to everyone tomorrow. Let me know in the comments what you think or your opinions. Let me know on the Twitter. It's in my bio. You will just tell me what you think on everything I'm talking about tonight. And have a good day. Stay blessed and have a good time, I guess.